Hello everyone, Robert Rambles here, and welcome to World of Warcraft Classic Era Classic, the most vanilla of the classic flavors. Thank you guys very much for clicking on the video and joining me here today. I truly do appreciate it, and I hope you are all doing well. We are here because I want to make sure that no matter what else we do on the channel or what else is going on with World of Warcraft, I want to make sure that we're playing Classic, and that we're playing an actual Classic version of Classic. Especially, as we move into the Cataclysm, which a lot of people don't really feel is truly Classic. And more, I kind of find myself in that same boat of people. Where, for me, Cataclysm, Classic, whatever it's going to be, it could be fun, it could be not fun, but whatever else, it kind of passes that point where I feel like the game is truly a Classic version of itself. And it kind of becomes more like a retail light than a Classic version of the game. And so yeah, we're back on the Warrior today. This character started off as a streaming series. But recently, I made a couple of different decisions about the content on the channel, and I am planning I want to keep the leveling series as recorded series. So anytime that we're leveling a character up, I really want to keep that going forward in the recorded format. One exception to this is if we ever, for some reason, get back into hardcore, I feel like hardcore leveling is very suited to streaming, and I do enjoy just streaming the hardcore with you guys so you get to see what happens as it happens, my reaction to it, and all that good stuff. But yeah, for any other leveling series, whether it be retail, or we're leveling up in Cataclysm, or Vanilla Era, whatever it is, I want to keep the leveling series just the chill, recorded, immersive content that it's kind of always been. And then for the streams, what I've been doing recently, and what I'm going to keep doing into the future, is that I'm going to focus the streams on endgame. So whether that's endgame mythic dungeons in retail, maybe it's endgame raids, heroics in Cataclysm, or whatever else we're doing, I would really like to focus streams on endgame characters, max level content, and then we can keep all the leveling stuff right here in the recorded series. And I would love to know what you guys think about that. If you have any thoughts, opinions, I would definitely like to hear from you guys. A couple of things. I talked about how Classic Cataclysm doesn't really feel like Classic. There's other things going on with Classic Cataclysm that you may or may not be aware of, that it's I can see how for some people, and maybe for me included, it's kind of a turnoff. The biggest thing that's going on with it is that they're rushing the content out. So, not only is Cataclassic coming 1 or 2 months earlier than it was indicated by the roadmap, which personally threw my preparation plans into the bin, but also the patch cadence is going to be much faster than anything we've seen before in Classic Era. And so, instead of getting a patch every 3, 4, 5 months, I think the patches are coming out every 2 months. And so the game is going to fully release on May 20th, and by January of next year, Cataclysm is going to be over. The last raid is going to be out January 2025. And that's it. That's it for Cataclysm content. That's it for Cataclysm Classic. And then, we don't really know what to expect from the Classic experiment after that. And so, yeah, that feels weird to me. It feels like they're going to speedrun Cataclysm, which is kind of that's the antithesis of Classic. That's taking Classic and going in the complete opposite direction with it. Leveling is going to be faster, the content cadence is going to be faster, the game version is going to wrap up and be finished a lot faster. And so to have that kind of be the whole premise for Cataclysm, that it's going to go really, really fast, right away, immediately, doesn't feel like Classic, kind of a turnoff for me personally. I'm still going to play in Classic. We're going to take a character from 80 to 85, we're going to see all that content. I would love to, see all the remade zones. I would love to say that I want to read all the quests and see all the remade zones. I just don't know, what time I'm gonna have to do that, and how much energy and time I want to put into leveling characters in Cataclysm to see those zones. Because, admittedly, it sort of feels like after Cataclysm, maybe those characters are just kind of dead in the water. Do we go into Mist of Pandaria Classic? I don't know. Especially with them releasing the Panda remix, Mist of Pandaria remix into retail, it kind of makes me question whether or not they plan to continue the Classic releases forward. And at what point do we want them to continue doing that? Do we want Mist of Pandaria Classic? A lot of people didn't want Cata Classic. Do we continue into WoD? Do we simply have a progression of Classic releases that is sped up, that we get through in 8 months in expansion, and eventually we're right back in retail? Especially if they were to take the cadence they're setting up for Cataclysm, and you were then to apply that to every expansion that comes out afterwards, we're talking about less than a year per expansion. And that feels a lot more like a progression server, like if you've ever played on or heard about the EverQuest progression servers, where they start with the base game and then every few months they push the game into the next expansion, and leveling is kind of faster. It happens really fast, compared to how the original release structure went. So when I see Classic expansions that are lasting less than a year, that's more like a progression server. That content's going to come out super fast, and then because of that, you're going to find yourself caught up to retail basically in only a handful of years. So yeah, there's a lot to think about. The future. What's the future of my Classic characters? That's kind of what's been on my mind, and maybe it's been on your guys' mind too. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. If you've been thinking hey, what's gonna happen after Cata? Where does my character go? Does my character have a future? Am I going to be able to play these alts into the future, into different expansions, or is the Classic project just going to kind of come to an end at some point? We don't know the answers to any of this, and it's kind of become an issue, like I said, as we move into Cata, and it feels less like Classic. I kind of wonder how much time I want to spend leveling characters in that era. So yeah, just a little bit of my thoughts about Cata, about Classic, about my plans for content on the channel. I would love to hear what you guys think about Cataclysm. What are your current feelings about Classic overall? Is it going in a good direction? Would you like them to do something completely different with it? Let me know in the comments. Alright, we're turning in the horseshoes that we picked up in Goldshire.
See you later.
What feels like ages ago. And let's grab Underbelly Scales and the Knoll Kill Quest.
See you later.
Now, I said at the start of the video that I kind of want to make sure that as we go forward into the future, we're always kind of touching base, and we always have something going on in Classic Era Vanilla. Because yeah, we've gotten really far away from Classic Era Vanilla with how Classic has gone, and I'd like to just kind of hang on to that and be able to experience this era some more. Because as far as Classic goes, Vanilla, TBC, that's probably about as classic as it gets. Wrath of the Lich King was still, relatively classic. But times are changing, and we're moving on. So I would like to always kind of have a series going in the recorded series for Vanilla era characters. And yeah, we could keep going on this character. This character started as a stream character. And I know that not everybody around the channel is a big fan of the streams for their own reasons and various reasons. So yeah, I'm fine to play this character, but let me know if you guys would rather see, something fresh start on Vanilla Era that just lives completely as a recorded series. And I just say that because I know that not everybody watches the streams or really wants to go back and catch up on that content. So for now, for today, for the time being, I'm going to play on the Warrior, and then we'll see what the future holds. Can I get in here and break this up? Maybe if I can pull this Mystic back, you know what? That's probably not going to work. I feel like it's kind of all or nothing with this camp. Either we take all 4 of them, or we kind of have to avoid them. You know, we could go in here and we could, ooh, look at that. This is an opportunity. Let's get in here, we'll blow Retaliation. We'll do Demoralizing Shout to weaken them. Get some bleeds going. He's gonna get a big heal. Okay, okay, that's okay. We have a potion too if we need it. But we don't. So that was awesome. And yeah, since it's been a little while since I've recorded in Classic Era, let me know about the sound settings. It feels a little quiet, but looking at the settings, it might be loud for you guys. I'm gonna bump it down to about right there, which is like around where I keep most of my settings for other versions of the game. And you guys let me know how it sounds. And if you do get feedback about the audio, letting me know what device you're listening on helps out a lot. So on this character, our professions were skinning and herbalism. Okay. I kept eyeing this node like, should I be going after that? No, we are skinning and herbalism. We have all the brutes we need. We are looking for one more mystic. That priest pulled a bunch. He's probably gonna be fine. We'll get in here and help him out anyway. He might not like that we're tagging his mobs. It might not be seen as help. I just remembered when we hit 24, we have the shining silver breastplate we can equip. And we'll probably hit 24 after turning in these 2 quests.
You need something? For the Alliance. Have a good one. See you around.
Hey there. Have a good one. See you around.
There we go. Alright, looking good. Now we're gonna go after the underbelly whelp scales, and I think after that we might have to make our way to Darkshore. It's either Darkshore, and then I think we'll also have some stuff to do in the wetlands. We can start with the Algoz Gauntlet. We can go to Felsamar. We can do the Algoz Gauntlet. Some other quests here too. A couple of elite quests that we didn't get done. Raider's Belt of the Bear. 2 strength, 2 stamina. We have 4 strength and 4 stamina, but still a pretty good green drop. I have to point out that we have only gotten 1 underbelly scale. The only, like, kind of unfortunate thing about this quest is even though the quest is level 18, the enemies are mostly level 16 and 17, which means we're not getting any kill XP. Just a little bit of a bummer. I still think it's worth doing the quest. We are getting a lot of skins that we can sell. When I remember to skin them. Ah, some of the ones over here are level 18. Well, it looks like somebody else has been through this area. We can skin a little bit, but we might have to head back to find some respawns back the way we came. Roro, we have a guy back here that I didn't even notice that is blasting us with fireballs. He must have been hiding behind the tree or behind the rock. I did not see him at all. Alright, 4 out of 6. Now we're making progress. Ooh, we have some respawns popping up, potentially. Yeah, I think this has to be a respawn. I'm pretty sure that we're ready to train Herbalism anytime now. Unless there's some kind of level requirement, which I don't know if there is. We got a few players out here, you know, there's not a ton of people. But there are some people. Part of me keeps hoping that, like, when Sod finishes up and when Cataclysm finishes up, which might be like around January, around the same time frame, I keep hoping that we will see an influx of people coming back into Classic Era servers. That would be really cool. I don't feel like Season of Discovery did well for most casual Classic enjoyers. Like, I feel like it was more of a season of min-maxing and a season of speedrunning and a season of playing to the group meta in group content. I don't feel like it did well for just a season of Classic Era for like the average Classic enjoyer. I feel like Season of Mastery actually did better for the average Classic enjoyer. Now that being said, the Season of Mastery did not have like a super long shelf life once people got their first characters to 60, which I think we capped our warrior in like a couple months. I think it might have taken me a couple months playing only like 1 or 2 hours a day. But it was a really fun journey. I enjoyed the journey. The 40% experience buff in Season of Mastery was kind of spot on. Like, it wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. You still had like over a 100-hour journey. And it felt, you know, it felt like Classic still. And Season of Discovery for me just kind of missed that mark. It felt like I was playing like a speedrun version of the game with a couple different mechanics, a big focus on the meta, a big focus on logs, a big focus on like quote end game end quote, and it just didn't really appeal to me as a season of Classic. Just kind of, it was kind of like just a game with a classic skin over top of it. So yeah, it'd be nice if we could see like a resurgence of Classic Era. Maybe even if they were to do like a fresh start server. Maybe that would be something that like after Cata has ended and SOD has ended, you know, if they don't have any other plans immediately ready to put into motion for Classic, then maybe we can just get like a fresh start server starting in Classic Era. I really wish they would consider a progression server that runs from a vanilla era and goes through Wrath of the Lich King. Offer the 40% experience bonus right out the gate. Never increase it, because increasing the XP buff after like several weeks, several months, it makes people feel like their gameplay has been invalidated somehow. I remember just it made me feel like in Season of Mastery I had started a Horde character because we had done Alliance side, so I was leveling, I think it was either a Tauren Shaman or an Undead Warlock. And then the XP bonus went from 40% to 100%. And immediately I was like, ugh, like it just felt bad. It would have been much nicer just to keep the 40%. So yeah, do a progression server, 40% bonus XP every 4 months, maybe 5 months if you want to give people a little bit of time to experience some of the endgame content. Every 4 or 5 months, release the next expansion. So we spend 4 or 5 months in vanilla. Which with a 40% XP buff, like, it's more than enough time for people to level up characters. And then we get TBC. We get that for 4 or 5 months. And then we get Wrath of the Lich King. We get that for 4 or 5 months. And then we get maybe a 2-month break. And then do it again. So people love a fresh start. I feel like that would be something that they could do for Classic that would not require like a lot of development time or like a heavy lift. Maybe you don't do that forever, but maybe trying it out, like trying out progression servers for a little bit as you work on your ideas for like the next season of whatever. While that bakes in the oven, fire up a progression server. What's the worst that could happen? Tons of people go play it, you know? Unless what they really want, which could be the case, that, you know, they might really want people to funnel back into retail. Because, you know, by the time Cata's wrapped up, SOD's wrapped up, War Within will be going pretty strong at that point. And maybe it'll just be a way to kind of say, hey, there's a lull in Classic content. Not really a lot going on. SOD's done, Cata's done, Hardcore's been done. And then maybe that'll be a wave that they can kind of get people to jump back into retail who have been long-time Classic players or who have been avoiding retail. I don't know.
Can I help you? Be careful. Have a good one. For the Alliance.
Alright, so from here, everything left here is yellow, so we're not going to do anything else here for now. I think we ultimately, if we want to do any of this stuff, we need to head back to Darkshore. We don't, but I don't know if we need to. You know what? We got 3 quests. One of them is in the far southern part of the zone, one is in the far northern part of the zone. The Tower of Athalax is also in the northern part of the zone. But we might be okay just to go right into Wetlands. I'll have to give it a little bit of thought, and you guys can let me know what you think. Should we go wrap up in Darkshore, or do we think we're ready to kind of head into the Wetlands? And then also, we're going to be heading into Duskwood, so we haven't done anything in Duskwood yet. And I know a couple of the quests. Jitters is level 20, so we have a few levels before that goes gray. Actually, we have only about 2 levels, actually. We don't want to get more than 6 levels out. Wolves at Our Heels is 21, and this is 21. So yeah, like, maybe we just want to stick to the Wetlands, bounce between Wetlands and Duskwood. And then, you know, we already did a bunch of stuff in Darkshore. I don't think it's going to be too impactful if we miss a few of the later quests. But let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear from you. I am going to take a break right here for today. Thank you guys very much for joining me. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about how you feel about the state of Classic Era. Where do you want Classic to go after this? Are you excited for Cataclysm? How do you feel about the speedrun nature of Cataclysm? What would you like to see in the future? Let me know in the comments. As always, take care of yourselves out in the real world and take care of each other. And we will see you back in Azeroth again very soon. Bye for now.